Hey gaming fans, so today's another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile, and this one is for GOAT format, and it is Dark Magician. Now, I wanted to come up with a deck that could utilize Dark Magician, essentially get him out fairly easy, and, try and overwhelm your opponent. So, let's get to the build. So obviously we do have the two Dark Magicians in this deck. I could have gone with 3. I was worried about him being too clunky, and there is ways to special summon him, so we're going to keep him at 2 right now. So for the main deck, we're going to use 3 Apprentice Magician. Originally, I tried to go with the concept of getting Dark Magicians in the graveyard and then special summoning them, but this way I thought is a little bit better to build, to do a little bit more of a control build. So Apprentice Magician, obviously, when destroyed by battle, you can search your deck for a spellcaster of level 2 or lower and special summon it to the field in face down defense position. It also does that thing where you summon it, you can put a spell counter on a monster. So, I mean, it can happen where you have a breaker on the field and you normal summon it, normal summon your Apprentice Magician and then put a counter on that breaker, but, I don't know. Very often that's not going to happen. So your targets for your Apprentice Magician are your Magician of Faith, which is good because it recycles a spell back to your hand, and you can actually use her to go into your Thousand Eyes. And the other ones are Old Vindictive Magician. So these are your targets primarily for your Apprentice Magician. Obviously, I think you can also grab another Apprentice Magician. I don't think there's anything that says you can't. But you're probably going to go for either your Magician of Faith or your Old Vindictive, which is pretty much your Man-Eater bug of the deck. He destroys a monster on the field. So if you have to get rid of a nasty monster on your opponent's side of the field, then you can go for that card. I have a Sangan in here. I don't know if it's necessary to keep Sangan in here, but he does help you search out your Apprentice Magician if you need it, or Magician of Faith, or Old Vindictive if you just need to get it to your hand. But the reason why I put 1 in here is because I am playing 2 Mystic Tomatoes. So Mystic Tomatoes are good because if they run over by battle, you can either grab another one, or you can grab the Apprentice Magician, or you can grab your Sangan. So you do have some good targets for it. And of course, creature swap these things over. Then we got Breaker. So Breaker is Breaker. Everybody plays Breaker pretty much in this format. Skilled Dark Magician, because I figure he kind of goes with the theme. Each time your opponent, you or your opponent activates a spell card, you can put a counter on this card. So this will actually also work with your Apprentice Magician too, if this guy's face up on the field. So once you have 3 counters on him, you can special summon a Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or graveyard in face up attack or defense position by offering this monster with 3 spell counters as a tribute. So you do have to tribute him, which is unfortunate. It would be better if you just removed the counters and then summoned a Dark Magician. But this is good because he recurs him, Dark Magician, from the grave as well. So, just in case. I originally had more than 1 because, I mean, he's 1900 beat stick. But I just felt that he wasn't going to do much very often. But just to have that one surprise in there. And Dark Magician Girl at 3. This is going to be your main way of summoning your Dark Magician. So you increase the attack of this monster by 300 points for each Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos in either player's graveyard. This deck doesn't play the Magician of Black Chaos. There's no reason to. It would just be something stuck in your hand all the time. So I just figured, 3 Dark Magician Girls should be enough with the 2 Dark Magicians. Then to actually pull out your Dark Magician, we're going to play 3 the Sage's Stone. So you activate only if you control a face-up Dark Magician Girl. Special summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand or deck. It's too bad it's not graveyard. I mean, if it was hand, deck, or graveyard, this would be a hell of a lot better. But it's not. It's, hand or deck. So it's good that it's also that it does hand. So if you do draw your Dark Magician, basically if you have, say, one of these in your hand and you've already drawn your Dark Magician, grab the one from your deck before you summon the one from your hand. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Why would you want to waste the one in your hand when you could potentially normal summon him? Or wait for the other Sage's Stone to come along. So, some of our typical cards, we got Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, Premature Burial, all great cards. For some stall, I put in 3 Scapegoats. These are great because a lot of your monsters are very weak in the beginning. You know, you got your apprentice magicians and your magician of Sangans and just all these different magician of faith. So you want to have something else that just in case your opponent deals with your face down card, you know, the Nobleman of Frost, or they destroy it somehow. You have your goats to work with. Plus there's some other tricks you can do, like using Metamorphosis on your goats to bring out your Thousand Eyes Restrict, or use it on your Magician of Faith at the beginning there, who's a level 1, so you can also bring out your Thousand Eyes. Lots of tricks, but also if you like snatch deal their monster, this is why for the fusion deck I chose like all different levels. So I have like level 1s, level 3s, level 4, 5, 6, you know, 7. So that way snatch deal or brain control, if you have a Metamorphosis in your hand, you can always just transform them into a fusion monster just to get rid of your opponent's monsters. Put in 2 enemy controllers. Again, with the scapegoats out, you get a token, so you can actually use your enemy controller to tribute the token to steal your opponent's monster, just like a brain control for 1 turn. But also you could use these as a defensive trick. If your opponent goes to attack, you can turn it to defense mode. Enemy controller does have a lot of versatility, so it's kind of a nice card in this deck. And of course the 2 creature swaps. You got a lot of cards you might want to creature swap over. The tokens are obviously a good choice. That's the whole part of the goat control style deck. But you can creature swap. I'm pretty certain you can creature swap your Apprentice Magician. It doesn't say that it had to be on your side of the field, but I don't know if that was errated or anything. But I'm pretty sure you could send over Apprentice Magician and attack it, and then you get the card. Or you got your, you could always send over a Sangan or your Tomato. So you got lots of options in this deck. And then of course the obvious Heavy Storm, Mystical Space Typhoon. Need to clear out the back row. I wasn't sure if this deck needs a little bit more back removal. We do have Breaker, but you know, I was thinking maybe having like a Dust Tornado, but I mean, it's up to you and your build. And then I have the 3 traps: Call of the Haunted, Mirror Force, and Ring of Destruction. So I figure Call of the Haunted is very important because, you know, lots of times we want to get out our Dark Magician Girl, and you know, once, even if you've used the effect of the Sage Stone, and say your opponent blows up your field, you can still bring back your Dark Magician. Or if you just have Dark Magician Girl in your hand and you need to get her onto the field, you could use Call of the Haunted, bring back, say, Sangan, and then tribute summon. Or even if you need to get out your Dark Magician, you know, it can help you pull it out. And of course, you know, Mirror Force to help control the board, and Ring of Destruction, just overall good cards. For the fusion deck, right now I just pulled a few cards like Thousand Eyes Restrict, obviously. Flame Ghost, he's just a level 3. He's weak, he's 1,000, but I mean, if you brain control your opponent's level 3 monster, you want to get rid of it with Metamorphosis. And then a Dark Fire Dragon, which is just a level 4, 1,500. Dark Blade of the Dragon Knight, I think that's a level 6. So we got Ryu Senshi, and then Gatling Dragon was at 7 or 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you know, you could add some more to this. Obviously, these are just the ones that I had that would work so far. Anyways, let me know what you think. I think Dark Magician is still kind of a fun. It's an iconic deck. It's you know, this came out in the Yu-Gi structure deck way in the very beginning when Yu-Gi-Oh first came out, and Dark Magician's got a lot of support even in the current format. There's a lot of support cards for this guy. Really cool card. Just it's a lot of fun. It can be bricky. You know, being a level 7, you need 2 tributes, but still a fun card to play with. Anyways, hope you liked the deck. Throw some comments down below. Let me know what you would play in your Dark Magician deck. I always like to hear it. What kind of improvements, you know, throw them down below. Hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.